Welcome to Dove Tech Tutorials. This is part 2 of the series, where we build a complete business IT infrastructure from the ground up. My name is Davy Veldhoven, and I will be your instructor through this course. Alright, so let's dive right in with the network design for DoveBridge Technologies, which is our client. What you're seeing here is a fully on-premise setup with two sites, Duivendrecht and Rotterdam. And the goal is simple. We want a design that looks realistic, but is also easy to understand. So for this course, everything follows a clear pattern. Let's start with the server names. The names are built in a way that tells you exactly what the server is and where it belongs. Take NL-DUYV-DC01. NL means Netherlands, DUYV means Duivendrecht, DC means domain controller, and 01 means it is the first one. So just by reading the name, you already know what you're looking at. The same applies to NL, DUYV, FS01. FS means file server. And over in Rotterdam, we're using the same logic. So NL-ROT DC01 is the first domain controller in Rotterdam. And NL-ROT FS01 is the first file server in Rotterdam. Here's the idea. We keep the names predictable, because in a real environment, clear naming makes everything easier. It makes management easier, it makes documentation easier, and it makes troubleshooting easier. Now, let's take a look at the IP addressing. For IP version 4, we will use Class A IP addressing. Duivendrecht uses 10.10.10 with a 24-bit subnet mask, and Rotterdam will use 10.20.10 with a 24-bit subnet mask as well. 10 will point to Duivendrecht, and 20 points to Rotterdam. The second octet tells us what the site is. The third octet will tell us what internal network we are pointing to. So when you see an address like 10.10.10.11, you immediately know it's about a domain controller in Duivendrecht. And when you see 10.20.10.21, you know it's the file server in Rotterdam. We will also keep the host numbers consistent for both IP stacks. Domain controllers will use 11 and 12. And file servers use 21 and 22. So the IP addresses follow the same pattern as the server names. We use the same idea for our internal IP version 6 addressing. Duivendrecht uses FD50, 10, 10, 10 with a 64-bit subnet mask. And Rotterdam uses FD50, 20, 10, 10 with a 64-bit subnet mask. And again, the site is just easy to spot. 10 is Duivendrecht and 20 is Rotterdam. Also, please note that the host numbers match IP version 4 as I mentioned before. That way, IPv4 and IPv6 match each other as closely as possible. And that's very useful in a course like this, because it keeps the design easy to follow for everyone. Now, looking at the sites themselves, Duivendrecht is the main location. This is where the core of our environment lives. We have two domain controllers there for Active Directory, DNS and authentication. And we have two file servers for storage and shared data. Rotterdam is the second site. It is connected to Duivendrecht over an IPsec VPN across the internet. And it also has its own local servers. That means both sites can work together as one single environment, while still having local services on each site. So the big idea behind this design is clarity. Clear names, clear IP addresses, clear rules, and a clear structure. Because when the structure is clear, the environment becomes much easier to build, manage and understand. And that's exactly why this topology looks the way it does. It is not just a diagram of connected devices. It is a design that teaches you the logic behind the environment. And that's what we are going to build together, step by step. This was the second part. In the next video, we are going to set up our Hyper-V virtualization environment. I hope to see you there.